everyone, how's it going? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I feel like I have not seen you guys in a long time. A very long time, in fact. It has been so hard to do any vlogs lately, and I know I kind of said that before, but you know, with summer here, I'm working more, and there really hasn't been a whole lot of stuff to repair on my own vehicles at this time, so I haven't really had any good topics to do, but I got one today, and it's not even on my car. It is on Mom's 2014 Ford Escape. Something else kind of crapped out, and it's nothing too serious this time, but it's serious enough to where the car doesn't start. We need to replace the battery in this thing, and I'm going to show you guys what it takes to replace a battery in these third generation Ford Escapes. It's not necessarily the hardest thing to do, but it's also not the easiest thing to do as well. So let me show you guys what we got going on. So if you've got this body style Escape, or a Focus for that matter, they're almost similar under the hood, then this is what you're going to have to do to replace the battery. Now, first of all, how do I know the battery's bad? Well, my brother called me and he said that he has to use this to pick my mom up again from the hospital. She had to go back to the hospital. In a few vlogs ago, I told you guys that she had to have surgery, and she had to go back to the hospital. So she's been there for the last few days, and she's coming home tomorrow. But my brother, I believe, was going to move the vehicle, and he went to go start it, and obviously nothing happened. All the lights and stuff came on, and you know, radio came on and stuff, but as soon as you get to the crank position, these cars don't necessarily do the whole click, 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 click thing anymore, because it's all, you know, electronically controlled. So if the battery draw is greater than obviously the voltage in the battery, it's not going to do anything. I hear thunder. I think it's going to storm soon, so we're going to have to get this done. Plus, it's going to be dark soon also. So yeah, so I came over. I had my jumper cables, and we jumped it, and it started right up. Battery's bad. So we're going to replace the battery. Let's show you guys what we got. So the battery's there on these, and you can see just the front half of the battery when you're, you know, standing away. But yeah, it goes pretty far back, and this is the cover that goes over the battery. I just left it off because, you know, we're going to be doing this. So you got to take the whole windshield cowl off, and that's what we're going to do now. A couple of important things when it comes to removing the wipers. Make sure the wipers are in the rest position. When I'm at work and I do this, I have a little wax crayon, and I usually just make notches on the sides of the wipers, so I know that that's where they were. Obviously the driver wiper is the top one, the passenger wiper is the bottom one, so when I see the notches, I'll know exactly what wiper is what. Or in this case, because the windshield's dirty and you lift it up, you can actually see the lines of where the blade was sitting. And if you don't want to look at that, there is actually can you see it on this one? Where are they? Well, usually I can't see them. I think maybe this one doesn't have them. I don't know. But there's usually factory marks on the windshield too that tell you. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's one. See, it's kind of hidden. So that's where the driver's side wiper is. It's like right underneath the. It's hard to see. Yeah, looks like an eye. So that's where the end of the wiper should be sitting, or close to it anyway, when it's in the rest position. So there's one on the other side too, probably right under this. Yeah, it's there. It's just hard to see. We're also replacing wipers blades while we're at it also. And my sister left her shoes in the driveway because she was doing something with her floor mats in her car with the hose. So don't mind those. But yeah, it's very important because as you can see, these wipers, they move independently. They're not linked together. There's two separate motors, and obviously they have sensors in them to know when they're in rest position. So if you put these wipers on and they're not in the rest position correctly, then I've seen the wipers, you know, go over the end of the windshield and not come down properly, or, you know. So before we even put the wipers back on, once we get the new battery in, we're going to cycle the wiper motors and make sure they go down to rest, and then put our arms back on. So that's a very important thing to remember. We got to remove these caps. This is going to be a whole lot slower for me doing it right this way because I don't have like my impact and stuff. I just went to my house and grabbed a handful of sockets and stuff. So I do believe those are either a 13 or a 15. Here's a 15. Is it 15? It is 15. So we need to undo the bolts on both these arms. I'm going to need two hands to do it probably because the arms are going to move. Like I said, I don't have my impact to do it with today with me. So there's one. Oh. Yeah, it's loose. Okay. There's two. Now this can be kind of difficult getting the arms off, and we don't actually have a puller here with us, so I'm just going to bend this back a little bit up here, grab a hold of this, and just kind of wiggle it off, and eventually it'll come right off like that. Bend it up a little bit. Oh, that one was actually easier. And now we have to remove this cowl piece, which I'm kind of glad because I can clean this crap off. I hate that stuff. And to take this off, there's actually these little C-clips. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There's 8 of them. And those are kind of a pain. You may be able to get them from the back. This one might be okay. But sometimes you need to use something to pry into them and get them off. Yeah, see, just most of it's coming off except for one part of it. Oh, there we go. So they look like that. Oh, that one's good. I think, yeah. Hopefully we don't lose any of these because I didn't bring a magnet. Of course, my mom's neighbors have a central air unit right next to the driveway over here, so sorry for the noise. It's also like 90 degrees today, or it was. It's about 85 now, I think. It's getting late. Oh, that one's gone. I think there's more than 8 then. That one's gone. Somebody lost it already. There we go. So that's off. How many did I pull off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so there should be 8. Apparently we have 7. Doesn't matter if one's missing. Apparently not. I forgot a... No, I think I got one. Never mind. We are going to have to remove the brake master cylinder from that other piece there. And I hope I got the correct size Torx bit. Hope so. That's one thing I completely forgot about when I was at the house grabbing tools. Oh, okay. I think Ooh, it might be too small, but I might be able to get it to work. Alright, we'll come back to that here in a moment. So, to get this off, once you have your C-clips removed, there's also clips that are like behind this weather stripping part. So, you basically just start pulling it out like this. Kind of hear them popping a little bit. The other ones here, here we go. Voila. And then that comes off just like that. Hey Kevin.
Yep.
Do you want to clean that crap out while it's off?
Sure.
Thank you. See, there's one wiper motor there. The other wiper motor's over here. And you can tell that, again, they're not linked in any way. So that's why each motor or each wiper moves independently. So before we get this piece off, now we have to remove this master cylinder reservoir. Hopefully this bit will work because I'm not going to have enough time to run home and get another bit. Oh, thank goodness. Alright, so these aren't very big screws either, they're pretty tiny. That there. Well, that one wasn't even tight. So we'll get this one off of here. That'll fall, which is fine. Just don't, you know, pull the hose. So just let that sit there. There's that. And now we can remove this. And to get this off, there, I believe it's a 10, so there's a 10 here, a 10 here, and likewise on the other side, a 10 here, and a 10 there. So we'll go ahead and get our 10. Oh, I lied. Hers are smaller. I know I brought smaller sockets. Maybe they're 8s. Maybe they're different. Maybe some are 10s and some are 8s. Apparently these are 8s. Which means I gotta use the smaller socket that I brought. Smaller ratchet. So see, it's not really the worst procedure. And again, if you have a impact like I usually use for this stuff, this will go a whole lot faster for you. Hey, looks good. So we got one out, throw it in there. This one's loose, we'll get this one out. Throw it in there. Go to the other side. Now, if you guys have seen under the hood of the new Escapes, you don't have this problem. It's actually a very spacious engine compartment. So the battery is 100% exposed in the new ones. Never really understood why they had to hide the battery so far back. And I kind of understand why the battery is back there, but why they had to have it covered up so much. Like the point of it is if you're in an accident, a lot of emergency systems with the car, like airbags and the 911 assist and stuff, need the battery obviously. So if the battery's damaged in the accident, none of that stuff's going to work. So I think the battery's back there for protective reasons, like that. So once you get those 4 bolts out, then you just simply lift this up from underneath the windshield like that, and it comes out like so. And now you can pretty much see the battery. So from here the other half of the cover comes off. So the cover looks like this. You know, that little thing slides in there and it looks like one piece. Never really goes that way. And there you go. Wow, so whoever replaced this battery before didn't put the bar back over top of the battery. So there should be a protective bar here with two nuts to clamp the battery down. So this battery, well, there's really not much room for it to move, but it's not really tied down, which I'm really surprised. Yeah, I don't think this is the original battery. At first I thought it was, but I think this battery was put in sometime before my mom bought it. There might be a date on it, maybe, once we get it out and see. So from here, it's just like any other battery. We're going to disconnect the cables, get them out of the way, and then we can get the battery up. Obviously, be careful when you're working with the battery. You don't want to, you know, if you unhook the negative first, you don't want it to touch anything metal. If you unhook the positive first, you don't want to have this fall back on the positive, you know, and spark there. So just be careful when you're disconnecting your battery. So these are 10s. So undo the one clamp. I should be able to walk this off like so. Try to hide it again, you know, keep it away from the battery. And we're gonna have to take our extension off to get underneath the windshield to get the negative out. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That whole thing comes off with the, I believe that's the battery management sensor or maintainer sensor. So we'll just move that there. And from there, it's just the battery. So what we're going to do is lift it from the front first. Try to do it one-handed, but probably not going to go so well. Lift it from the front, and then you can, oh yeah, try to get it to the back. There we go. Yeah, there's our battery. Surprisingly enough, there's nothing in there. Wow. That's how you do that. And you get your new battery, put it in opposite, put the back end down first. Set it on in there. Now I would have liked to have had an actual Motorcraft battery, but being this is after work hours and the dealership's closed and stuff, we had to just kind of get what we can get our hands on. So this is from O'Reilly's, not a sponsor. We'll hook our ground side up first because it's so far back. Again, before you do that, make sure your positive is away. In this case, we have a cap, so even if it did come out, it might not be that, you know, bad a deal. These do not have to be super tight. One thing I've noticed with this style clamp from changing batteries at work, and even my brother's on his Fusion, we did his a few months ago, these get clamped on so tight that it digs into the post and then you can't get it off of the post. You end up having to completely leave the clamp, the battery clamp, on the post of the old battery, and you got to replace the clamp. That's what happened to his, and it almost happened to mine before, you know, when I replaced it. So just snug here and there. I'm not using a huge ratchet for that reason. And then just give it a wiggle, see if it moves around, and in this case it's not moving, so it's tight enough. We do not have to worry about that. Here we'll take our positive off and we'll set it onto the battery. So you hear the solenoids clicking, so we're connected. And same thing here. when you tighten this, just, you know, a little snug, and wiggle it. It's not moving, see? Alright, so before you throw everything back together, you know, just to verify you're good with your battery, give it a start. Everything's going to be reset, radio, clock, you know, the typical stuff. It starts. No surprise. Does she have auto windows? Yes, she does, but she doesn't have auto up. Okay. So that doesn't matter. Here we go. Alright, battery's good. So now we can put everything back together. Now make note, there's a cutaway in this tray for these cables to go like this through there because of that back half of this cover. So this will go on there pretty much like that. It's probably not going to stay 100%, but you guys get the idea. It just sits there. And since you can actually see the entire thing, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just put this cover on too, because sometimes putting this on with all the other stuff attached is kind of difficult. That's pretty much how the battery cover looks when it's all put together. So that's that. So now what we do is we put the lower half of the windshield cowl back on. And remember, it was tucked underneath the windshield somewhat, so when you get it in, try to get it in, especially when you're doing it one-handed like me. It might not be the easiest. It's usually easier with two hands. Alright, so it's in. You just want to make sure it sits, you know, where the holes are lined up. And they're all there. So we're good. So now we take our 8mm that we threw into this bucket. One more. Where are you? There you are. And again, this can be so much faster if you have an impact to do this. So I'll just start them in by hand like that, and then we'll use the ratchet to tighten them down. There probably is a torque spec for these. I don't have any specs on me right now, but we'll just, you know, the usual. Tighten them up until they're snug but not over tight, because those can probably round out pretty easily from the looks of them. Wrong way. There we go. Yeah, that's good there. They do kind of stop when you get to the end of the screw, but with them going into those clips, you can strip those clips out pretty easily. This vlog's pretty much been cut and dried. Most of it, I think, is one take. Here we go. Alright, now grab your Torx bits and hook your brake master cylinder back up there. And be careful not to drop your screw, because if you're like me and you don't have a magnet on you at this time, that could pose as a problem. The These really weren't super tight, just snug. I'm actually surprised that this bit worked. I'm happy. There we go. Nice and snug. Alright, and now we have our clean cowl and grill assembly. And now we can get this set on there. So with this, like I said, be mindful of the fact that there are tabs close to this weather stripping. See them lined up there? And you can see the holes right underneath the windshield. So make sure you got them lined up before you start actually pushing down on things. See, like this isn't lined up completely because I'm using one hand. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I needed to use both hands to get this in place. So once you had all that lined up and you got your where those C-clips go in order and all your tabs, then you just kind of go along here and just kind of push them into place. You don't have to wail on them, but you'll hear them snap into place. In this case, they're in, so that's good to go. Alright, let's get our C-clips on. Now when you put your C-clips on, make sure that you're actually attaching them to both pieces, because sometimes you might think you got both and you don't. See, I did that on purpose. So you want to make sure you kind of push down and wedge those together and then push them on. So then that way you have them both secure. Sometimes these are harder to go back on than they are to take off, especially when they're chowded up, because somebody, you know, has definitely been here before. Yeah, see, that one doesn't want to go on too happily. There we go. Like I said, you should have 8 of these. I only have 7 for some reason. Here we go. And this is the one that was missing, so we'll just skip it like we did. And we'll go to the last one. Here we are. So that whole piece is back there and ready to go. Now we have to do the wipers, do the wiper arms. So like I said, what I like to make sure to do when I'm putting these back on is I'll just turn the key on, and I'll just do a, you know, I'll run the wipers through their like low speed, so the motors are moving. You can see one going, and the other one's going too. And then when we turn them off, they're going to go into a rest position. So that's what you want. You want to make sure that they're in rest. So we'll hit the switch right now. And that's it. So now I know for a fact that they're in the position that they should be. And I will carefully use both hands to get the blades to sit on the dirt patterns. I guess I'll use that since I can see them easiest. But this will be my passenger side down here, and I could see where the driver's side was. So we'll carefully get that on there without disrupting where the motor is sitting. Alright, so I know this is kind of difficult because I don't have a tripod or anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the blade, you know, bend it like that. And I got the blade sitting on the dirt mark where it was when I took it off. So I got that planted there. You can kind of see my thumb over here. And now I'm going to bend this back. It's going to fold up like that. But keeping my hand on the blade, I'm going to start to push down like that and get the motor, or get the arm back onto the motor. So if it moves a little bit, you got a little bit of leeway, but you don't want it to move too drastically. So that one is on. Let's do the other side. So we got our blade and our arm. I'm going to bend it again, like, you know, bend it down or up or whatever you want to say it. Take my one hand, get it sitting on the dirt mark, and then I'm going to bow it back. Might have to pull it over just a little bit. Make sure you stay on your alignment mark or your dirt mark of the windshield. And then just push down. And that should be perfectly lined up when we turn the wipers on. So get your 15 millimeter socket again. Take the 15 millimeter arm nuts and tighten them up. So you want to make sure you hold the arm, because when you tighten that, it's going to move the entire arm. And then you won't tighten it. All right. So when we go to turn the wipers on, they should be in perfect order and they should be perfectly lined up to where they were. They didn't move when I turned the key on, so they're still in rest position. There we go. And I could tell from the marks here that that's where the arms were stopping then. And that's it. That's how you change the battery in these 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 Escapes. There. I just rattled them all off for you guys. Put your caps back on. And those are easy. They just snap on. See? You just take them. Boom. And boom. And that's it. So we started it. We know it starts just fine. You know, set your clock and stuff. This battery that was in here does appear to be from October of 2014. So this must have been the original battery this whole time. I didn't think that the Max labeled batteries were original. These are usually what you can buy at the dealership. Usually the factory batteries are pretty bland looking. But I don't know, maybe this one had to be replaced early when the vehicle was still brand new, but that is from 2014, so kudos to this battery for actually lasting that long. It was a 590 cold cranking amp. This battery is 600, so it's not that much different, but it'll be a wee bit stronger in the winter, which will be fine because she actually has an aftermarket remote start system on here too, so. That is thunder, Kev. I kept hearing it when I was out here.
I checked the radar, but there's nothing around us, so.
Ah.
Unless something's forming on us.
Could be. Alright, so now we're going to close the hood up and we have new blades to put on this thing as well. Alright, so there was really no point in showing you guys how to change wipers. But we are going to test them. And start the car again. She runs! Yay! We'll go ahead and close this off. You better watch out!
Alright, go for it.
Hey, look at, hey, those are nice. Those are a lot better.
Alright, yeah. The other ones were just smearing.
Yeah, and our wipers are still adjusted perfectly fine. And most importantly, this car runs. So that's it, 72,000 miles. That battery lasted 72,000 miles. So that's impressive. That's it, guys. That's all I've got for today. So I am sweating because it is still very, very muggy out here. And I'm also very hungry. Oh yeah, we gotta set the clock. Hey, so you want to set your clock on your Escape with this style setup. You hit menu, you go to clock settings, you want to set the time. In this case, like I said, it is 8:18. We'll probably set it a minute fast just for the heck of it. So we'll say 8:19. It's already set the PM, hit OK. We'll set the date too while we're at it. Today is June 5th. No, I lied, it's the 6th. We're already halfway through the year. Can you guys believe that? Oh, I lied again, it's the 7th. Wow. 2021, there we go. That's it. And then we just hit our menu button and it takes you back to the radio that, you know. Alright, so that's it guys. I hope you did enjoy this video, and hopefully if you were somebody who needed a battery replacement in your Escape of this generation and you wanted to do it yourself, I hope that this helped you. Like I said, it's not the worst thing to do, but it's also not the most convenient thing to do either. It's not bad. But we got it through it. I do it every day. So that's that. So I'm gonna wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed today's vlog, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and also check out teespring.com/store/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. I want to thank you again so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. In the meantime, take care. What's wrong?
I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah?
No.
Kevin doesn't mind.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Hate to say it, but you're already on camera when I was testing the wiper.
Yeah, please don't put me in that. Please don't put me in that.
Looks like the storm's that way. It's dark back there.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah. Actually,